Hey folks, I hope you're doing well. Today we're painting some doors from Massive Darkness 2. This is the 3D doors that you can buy separately. I don't know if it was a Kickstarter exclusive or not. But they are primed in skeleton bone because we're going to be using some of the new contrast paints on the skeleton bone. Now, you saw that in my last video. I used some of the contrast paints on skeleton bone on my other miniature. But I want to show you on doors because doors have a buttload of details. Right, and we're starting off with Garaghak's sewer. I love this color. Have I said that before? This is a beautiful brown color. It is perfect for wood, for leather, and so I want to show you on this one door. We're doing different styles on every door, so this is gonna be kind of cool. And on this door with all the skulls, of course, we're gonna be using Skeleton Horde. Now, could I have tried something else? No, I like Skeleton Horde, and I should have technically done the entire door because I was really hesitant on what to paint what and this and that. So I should have done the whole door, and at least it would have been kind of like uniform everywhere. But I think in the end it's going to turn out pretty nice. Now, I decided to paint the doors because I painted doors for Hero Quest and people just loved that video. I'm assuming people like doors, but also they're good for D&D. I mean, you can use this for D&D, you can use this for any adventure game. You could pretty use this in like a zombie side, for crying out loud, on the Black Plague and Green Horde stuff, because they're great doors. Gore-Grunta fur. So this has a little bit more of an orange tone to it, not too deep orange, but just a bit. So we're doing the third door with this. I'm only going to be showing you guys 3 of the doors, okay? There's 15 in this pack. It took a long time to paint this, especially when I started doing the details. Now, some people out there could have just easily splashed on some contrast or speed paints or instant colors or whatever on all these doors and be done with it and not do anything else with it. I tried here to do some stippling because this Golgfag brown or whatever it's called, it sticks to the brush, but it doesn't seem to do much highlighting. I don't know if it's just too dry or some Tyrant skull. Now we're using this on the on top of the Skeleton Horde just to give them a little bit more depth, and later on I'm going to do something else to even make it more depth. Necron compound. Now what I want to do on this door was to just edge highlight all those little details popping out. Now I will add a little bit more highlight to it, but you want to do both sides of the doors. Don't forget to check both sides of these doors on all the painting in case I don't show it. They do need to be done. Then we're going to do some Gryph-Charger gray to contrast paint. We're going to be doing this all over the archway of this third door. Again, Gryph-Charger gray is supposed to be a little bit more bluish, but with the skeleton bone underneath primer, it kind of gives it like a greenish hint to it. So kind of like moldy, kind of old. I think I used this one. If not, it was the other bluish gray one, like Space Wolves gray, for the other doors on Hero Quest. You can try that if you want as well. Ratling Grime. This is one of the new contrast paints. Another one that I really like from this new line. It's got a blackish brown sewery, sort of. The other was called Garaghak sewer. I find this one's more like sewer water, to be honest. And this one does a great job on the stonework. Of course, it's more flat, so there's not much. But in those edges there around the top part, you can just see the contrast working right there, where you have the deep recesses. So this is where it gets long. Details on doors. So I decided to do all the like trimmings or whatever you want to call this part, all in this. And this is the not the Warplock bronze, sorry, this is the oh god, I forgot what color I'm using. Anyways, it said at the beginning there, this part. And we're going to be using this on a couple of the doors. I think all 3 of the doors we're going to be using it on different parts of it, I believe. Again, so this is where the intricate work goes into, and this is what takes time. Plus, this bottle, for some reason, the cap does not stay open. It closes every single time. It's like there's a defect in the back of it or something. I might have to transfer it to like an actual like dropper bottle because this is annoying. Oh, and I did the handle, like not the handle, but I did like the thing on the door here. Don't do that part. I find it looks better without it, especially with the dry brushing of the Golgfag brown. It just looks a little bit more used in that. So see, I used the Warplock bronze. That's what, yeah, it was Warplock bronze. We're using this now on that Skeleton Horde door. I keep calling it the Skeleton Horde door, the skull door. We're just doing this trim here, and we're also going to be doing that handle with this as well, just to give it a little bit more oomph to this door. This door was the one that I had the hardest time figuring out what I want to do with it. Alright, using that now on the bars of that last door, as well as I think I did on the handle as well, but you don't have to. I don't think it's necessary. I find a dry brush of that Necron makes it good enough. Now we're using some Screaming Bell. This is a little bit brighter orangey metal from Citadel colors, and doing those two big things there, and the handles as well. Now on the skeleton or the skull door, I'm doing this on like the, what would you call this, the hinges of the doors, like the big metal bar, to make it look like it's, you know, a big rusty door that's opening. And again, if I'd done this whole thing in the skeleton horde, I might have just done something different. I'm not sure, but just like it just looked patchy whenever I went back. I was like, okay, it's a little bright though. And here I go doing all those little knobs or bolts or whatever, or screws with this color just to make them pop a bit more, realizing after I gotta paint all what's behind it. Don't worry, I get it done. Screaming Bell. Now we're using Screaming Bell on the third door actually. Well, that's the same one as the Screaming Bell we were using before, but we're using this on the hinge and the bottom part of this door, so it gives it like this old look to it. Now the wash that I put on it later just doesn't really do much of a difference to it, but I just wanted to test, and you'll see it later. It's one of the new shades. Leadbelcher now. Now I'm doing all on the first door, all the little bolts or nails or whatever. So again, you're doing this 5 more times for each door. So you think, oh, this is a fast video, this is great, this is not gonna take me long. Oh, it took many hours of work, and also trying to figure out everything as well, what you wanted to have on there. So on the Leadbelcher, now this is where it gets really interesting. I got to go around all those little dots. I'm using it on all the interior metal of the doors. So you're going to want to take your time with this. You got to get in there, not to hit any of the skulls, not to hit any of those nice little dots I already did. But if you do, just go back with the Screaming Bell or Warplock. I think it was Warplock bronze I was using on those little dots, the screws there. So you can just go back over them. It's not a big deal if you mess up like I did and decide to do something first. Alright, Leadbelcher again, just to do those little big screws here on that third door. There's only some there. That's it. Simple. Grey Knight Steel now, we're just going to be using this pretty much on the last door. We're going to be putting on those nice little ornaments just on the bottom and the top around the window there, and just the bottom here. Just give it a little bit more coloration to the metal, so it doesn't blend in too much with the rest of the door, and gives a little bit more pop to it as well. And if you guys are enjoying these videos, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, like only 25 or 75% of you are, hit that subscribe button. Alright, now we are using Dungeon Base. This is a big paint from the Game Master line of Army Painter. Now, to be honest, I don't know if it's supposed to be meant to use on plastic, or you're supposed to only use it on the XPS foam, I think. But you know what? It's perfect for doing this, which is the bases. I didn't want to go black, and you could use a contrast paint on the bottom. Maybe like Basilicanum Gray or Gravelord Gray from Speed Paints or whatever, or Spectral Wolf or something like that. But I just decided I wanted to paint it gray because I really wanted to have a nice undertone. I didn't care if some of that, and then the skeleton horde door was, I keep calling the skeleton horde door, the skull door. Look at this. I decided to do all the trimmings here, just to being very careful. This may not have been the best brush to do this. I do hit some of the skulls. I wipe it off. I fix it. Don't worry. And just to get those little intricate parts. And you know what? It ends up making the door look fantastic. Maybe the Warplock bronze or the Screaming Bell, whatever. I think it was Screaming Bell that I used on the side there, the hinge. Maybe I should not have put that. Maybe I should just put it as silver, as Leadbelcher or whatever. But you know what? You saw in the picture at the beginning, the doors turned out looking amazing. So still doing that Dungeon Base here from the Game Master on the third door now. This is pretty much all you have to do on this one. I don't touch anything else with it. Very simple on that. Alright, now we're using Nuln oil on the first door. We're going to be putting this on the ground. As you can see, it gets into those nice cracks. And then we're going to use some Agrax Earthshade on the skull door. And we're going to put it everywhere on the skull door, including the floor, including the skulls. It does darken down the skulls a bit more, but I found it was too bright, the skulls. And in a dark area, you want it to be more of a shadow effect, and when it dries, it ends up looking like almost perfect. So it's a bit weird to put it on top of it. And we're using that new Mortarion Grime from Citadel color. It's more like a green slimish or sewer look. That just gives it that weird bottom look. So there you go, folks. The doors are painted and ready to be used in Massive Darkness 2 or any other tabletop game. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.